Hi everybody and welcome to another illustration video. This time I'm drawing a lady with some carnivorous plants on her head, because you know my struggles with drawing flowers, and I think this idea is way more interesting than the usual girl with flowers in her hair kind of character design, and I haven't seen anything like this yet. This was actually quite challenging for me because I find drawing the profile view of faces very hard, and I'm also not very experienced with skin tones yet. Which is also why you'll see two different versions of the finished piece in this video. When I filmed this illustration, I messed up the coloring and shading of the skin and couldn't figure out how to fix it. So I stopped working on it at some point and needed to stay away from it for a while to look at it with fresh eyes the next day. This way I was able to fix some of the things that bothered me. It's still not great, but I like it a lot better now. I'll show you again later. So this is a mixed media piece with alcohol-based markers and colored pencils, and I especially enjoyed coloring the plants. Even though it was challenging, I think I learned a lot, but since this video somehow ended up being a lot shorter than I expected, I'll stop talking about the illustration for now and will answer some of your questions you asked me on Instagram. The first question is, do you draw every day to progress? I wish I would, but I actually don't. I try to make time for drawing as much as I can, and sometimes I draw many days in a row, but sometimes there are also weeks I don't draw at all, or just doodle in my bullet journal. But for me, that doesn't really count as art practice. I know it's probably a weird way of thinking, but in my opinion, bullet journaling and art are two completely different things. Keeping a sketchbook gives me the feeling of learning and improvement, and my bullet journal does not. Also, oftentimes I feel an urge to draw, but have other things to do. But drawing every day is something I would love to make a habit, which is why I always keep a habit tracker for sketching. Do you buy online courses to learn techniques? I use Skillshare whenever I want to improve on something or learn something new. There are thousands of classes on creative topics, and it's focused on learning, so it's ad-free. If you want to try it, there's an affiliate link in the description box that gives you a free trial. This video is actually not sponsored by Skillshare, but for this question I just had to mention it. What's your all-time favorite anime? That's a very tough question, because it often depends on my mood and changes from time to time. My comfort anime is My Hero Academia. It always cheers me up when I'm feeling down. My most recent one I enjoyed a lot is Demon Slayer, and some more I always mention when people ask this question are Steins Gate, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Death Note, and Attack on Titan, of course. What markers do you recommend for drawing? For illustrations like this one, I love the Ohuhu markers I'm using in this video. If you're looking for water-based markers though, I'd recommend the Crayola Super Tips for doodles and sketches. You get a lot of markers for a very small amount of money. What's your inspiration behind this illustration? I think I saw a picture of a Venus flytrap somewhere and immediately thought of a character wearing them in their hair instead of flowers. Sometimes it's a very small thing that sparks inspiration. Would you like to share your career path with us? Well, it's not great, but I don't have any problem with sharing it either. I always wanted to study design, so I created 2 portfolios and applied to different universities, but got rejected every single time. It's hard to deal with when other people decide over your future and deny your dreams. But after 2 years of trying and jobbing, I decided to move on with my life, so I became a nurse. I was so frustrated by art and easily influenced, and also fascinated in biology and the human body, so I thought that might be it. I quit drawing completely for years, but I also quit working at the hospital after some years because it consumed my whole life and I just wasn't made for it. And now I'm a student again and I'm studying forensic chemistry. I got into bullet journaling and back into art, and I still want to be an artist too. So this channel is my way to kind of live my dream. Some people asked similar questions about favorite art supplies, favorite color medium I'm comfortable with, and favorite wet medium. My favorite color medium I'm comfortable with is probably still markers. I enjoy using watercolor and gouache more and more, but I'm far away from comfortable with them. Painting has something therapeutic to it though, especially with gouache. I love how opaque the colors are. If you made me choose only one art supply for the rest of my life, it would probably still be my beloved ballpoint pen though. Someone also asked for ways to improve your drawing skills. What I figured out for myself is that it helps me the most to practice drawing from reference. Then draw the same subject from my imagination, compare to the reference, and fix mistakes I made. Like for this illustration, I first practiced drawing carnivorous plants, then made a little thumbnail of the illustration. When I did that, I realized that I struggled with drawing the profile of the face, so I looked up references for that too. Then you can play around with composition and stylization. Eventually, I was happy with the sketch and transferred it on a piece of marker paper, and it was time-consuming and a lot of back and forth, but I feel like I really learned much from it. What's the significance of foxes in your Insta handle? Good question. I'm actually surprised that no one asked this before. The answer is nothing at all. I love foxes and that's it. If I would have known that my social media channels would grow this much, I maybe would have put more thought or meaning into the name, but that's how it is now. But to be honest, if I would consider rebranding, chances are that my new name would still contain foxes. Do you think you found your art style, and if so, how? Yes and no. I found a way of drawing that I enjoy and have an idea of what I want my art style to be. It's a semi-realistic kind of style with anime and comic book influences, but it's not very refined yet and changes all the time. Sometimes it's more realistic, sometimes it's more anime. I often get frustrated with it, and then I usually need to take a step back and study fundamentals. It's very confusing sometimes, but I accepted that it takes time. So that's almost it for this video. As you can see, I'm already adding details to the illustration, and as I mentioned at the beginning, I was very unhappy with the skin color and changed it the next day, which I will show you in a few seconds. If I didn't answer your question, chances are I already answered it in my first Q&A video, or I didn't do it in time. Anyway, thanks to everyone who sent me their question. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and have a wonderful rest of your day.